So I think it's time to head up to Bonanza Creek, where it all started. The main economy of Dawson City is gold mining. What's your name?
I'm Linda Thompson.
And you are here looking for gold?
Yes, well, my family is.
Your family
my
is.
husband and my son.
Yeah. Good morning internet, it is 8:30 in the morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome here in Mayo, Yukon, here in Canada. I am quickly going to leave. Today is going to be another, I think it's going to be 400 k's or so. And that will bring me right close to the border, finally, with Alaska. So I'm now right over here in Mayo. And today I'm going to ride to Dawson City here, and as you can see, this is the border with like the main part of Alaska. Of course, I've already been in Alaska twice in this part, but now I am very close to entering the real big part of Alaska. I am keeping these introductions short because the mosquitoes are eating me alive. I kid you not. I have to get out of here as quickly as I can. It's an exciting day because getting to Dawson City means that I am going kind of to the heart of the Yukon gold. Dawson City is the area where, well, what basically kicked off the huge gold rush here in the Yukon, when gold was found in a place that they now call Discovery Claim. So I'm gonna investigate it all. I will be riding parallel to the Klondike River. So I'm just really looking forward to an awesome ride and then getting into the gold scene of Dawson City. Oh no! They went off the road. Is there anybody here? Oh, there's nobody. Surely they were towing a car, like I've seen all the other days. So they probably left with the car and then had to leave the bus behind. Ah, yeah. Oh man, I feel sorry for them. Yeah, I guess that's a risk when you ride around with this huge setup. Huge bus towing. So this water right here is, well, it has to come from the Klondike River. Trying to get a bit closer to the river. I'm trying to find a path. I saw this trail. It might get a little bit too wet up here. I don't know how deep this is. Ah, it doesn't look very deep. Really, you can just walk up to it. The Klondike River, well, actually I think the main river is just behind here. But this is part of it, I guess. The famous Klondike River, the gold-bearing river of the Yukon. That's where it all started, where it all kicked off for the Yukon. So I have 30 kilometers to go, and well, Dawson City is pretty much the heart of the world famous Klondike gold rush. And gold was first found in the area in 1896 in a creek that's now called Bonanza Creek, which is a tributary of the Klondike River. So when that first gold was found, it drew the attention of about 1,000 people that used to live in the Yukon at the time. There were prospectors, miners, other people that were in the Yukon. They all came to this place and started looking. But it took almost a full year before the world kind of heard about this new gold. And it caused a stampede. So it's been said that 100,000 people came all the way to Dawson City. And I guess not everybody made it. Many people had to travel 5,000 kilometers through the wilderness to get here. Well, I'm clearly getting close to Dawson City. This is what a gold rush does. It's on both sides of the road here. It just keeps going and going. Let's see if I can have a bit of a closer look over here. There's an airport nearby, so I can't fly a drone here to get a feel for the extent. But let's see how far I can actually ride here. No more gold left in these gravel beds. Yeah. You can see how coarse it is, see? So these seem to be all the coarse material. Oh, see, they're still doing digging. So, oh. I don't think I'm actually supposed to be here. See some excavators just down on the other side. See, I missed the sign. I think there's a sign. What does it say? Oh, active. Oops, yeah. I was just looking at the right and I was like, I think I missed the sign. But anyway, yeah, active mining. So they're still digging over there. Always looking for more. What I find so fascinating is that you get all these gravel hills that just, the houses are just kind of built in between and on top. Like, it's the most normal thing ever. See, you get like mountains of dug up gravel and then just a house. building it right now. Dawson City. I'm here. Church, 1902. Yukon Hotel. Cream candy. Look at these shops. So cute. Jimmy's Place, all kinds of stuff. That is just what I was looking for. What a town. This is the Nugget and Ivory shop. To buy or sell, I guess, your gold nuggets. We got the Dawson City General Store. Wow. A community radio station. It's like I'm riding through an open air museum. That's a bit how this feels like. Like it's not real. Downtown Hotel. The Drunken Goat Tavern. What a cool town. Alright, let's drop my stuff and then explore. I just like how all these shops have everything painted on it. See? Open. Painted on it. I wonder what this building used to be. Doesn't seem to be in use any longer. Oh, there you can vaguely see it. Canada Bank of Commerce. You see that? Kino. Does that ring a bell from the previous video? This must be then, I think, one of those stern wheelers that I talked about that would transport all the silver from Mayo down to Whitehorse. I think this is one of them. I think there were two. It is time to get a bit of a closer look on all the gold mining here in the area. Because Dawson City, well, so the history is all because of gold. But the present day it's all still about gold over here. So I think it's time to head up to Bonanza Creek, where it all started, and first have a little bit of a look at the history. And there is still more. There is still more. So that means that yes, there is still the main economy of Dawson City is gold mining. Let me close my visor. So it's a few big corporations that are mining, but it's actually mostly family businesses. So small family businesses with a few people each working on different claims in the area. So right here on the right side, that's where Bonanza Creek is. That's the famous creek where it all began. And I'm now on my way to dredge number 4. Which is going to be a spectacular sight, and I'm going to meet Kyle there. I met him yesterday in the bunkhouse where I'm staying. He's a local miner, and so he is going to show me around today. So it's going to be super interesting to hear his stories and the stories of the people that he's going to introduce me to. See, everywhere there's just piles and piles of gravel dug up. Look at that. So there's the creek and there's the pile. Unreal. There it is. Unbelievable. That thing is massive. Yeah. Okay, let's find Kyle. Oh, there he is. Hey. Wow.
It's an impressive piece of engineering, eh?
I'm really glad I ran into you yesterday, because you're a miner.
Yeah.
You're a gold
I guess
miner.
I am. Yeah.
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 How did you end up here?
Well, my dad is the short answer. He just accidentally got into it down in BC, and then he found his way to the Yukon, as most miners do, because this is This is where it's more fun. He's done it 40 years. I grew up doing it. Thought I would go off to university, do a bunch of crazy stuff far away from mining, because when you're a teenager, your dad's job is not the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
But then I came up and worked a summer to save up for school, and I've been hooked ever since.
When was this built? Do you know that?
So this one was it was commissioned. I think the order was placed in early 1911, 1912. It was assembled up here in 1912, near town, near where the bridge crosses the Klondike River there. It took them from about midsummer until late winter to assemble it, and then it started working its way up Bonanza.
Right.
So it worked from 1913 until 1959.
Yesterday I was in the Gold Nugget shop.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the owner there.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. Doesn't matter. He told me that by now, they've been going through Bonanza Creek 3 times. So the first time
Yes.
was with handheld equipment,
Yeah.
gold panning. Second time with this one, or like the big dredgers.
Yeah.
And then third time with modern equipment.
Yeah. The Yukon region is unique because it's covered in permafrost. So all of your gravel, most of your gravels are frozen. When the original prospectors came up here, they would dig and thaw with fires and heat and water, and dig shafts, make big piles, and then in the spring when the water would start running, they would process everything they dug out of the shafts all winter.
All right.
And so they would go straight down until they hit bedrock.
Yeah.
And when they hit solid rock, then they would drift sideways, and they would just follow the pay streak and pan as they went, and then create what's called a dump, and then in the spring run the dump. So they high graded. They just went for the hot, richest spots where it was economically viable because they were only doing it by hand.
Yeah.
Then some more mechanical equipment came in, and then the dredge company saw the opportunity to come and do the creeks on a large scale.
Yeah. So the big piles that I saw like on the way in,
Yeah, on the drive
there
in.
still remains from this
And the whole
job.
Klondike Valley, all those large piles,
Yeah,
were
all done
created by the number 4.
and never kind of cleaned up or restored or anything.
No, they're just, I think now they actually have a historical designation to them because they're
Okay.
a unique feature of,
Yeah.
of the history of the land.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Oh, they're purposely left like that.
Yeah. This one had 72 buckets on the bucket line. It could dig to a depth of 15 meters. And it could do about a 100-meter arc back and forth. The smaller material would fall through the trommel after being scrubbed and cleaned and would be run over sluice boxes. So when the miners go through today, obviously the price of gold is better. The mechanical techniques we have for catching the gold are much better.
Yeah.
They can grab the tailings underneath the dredged, the large scale tailings. They can grab the small stuff and they can add it with the virgin ground, the unprocessed stuff, and actually catch some of the gold that these machines lost. Supplement their grade.
So do you think at some point they're gonna go through here the 4th time with some other new stuff?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Price of gold keeps going up, then more and more ground becomes viable, both new ground and old work ground.
Yeah.
There are some spots here that were incredibly rich and they lost a decent amount of gold just because the boxes were full.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
This dredge in particular, when it was doing Claim 67 on Hunker, it was, well, my grandpa was on one of the crews. My great grandpa was on one of the crews that used to clean the boxes, and he said it was just the top parts of the boxes were all solid gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they would just keep going. They would have panners that would work at the end of this sluice tray, and they would pan, and they would let the company know when the gold started to come off the sluice box because it was full. And they were more about production because they were in a head office somewhere.
Yeah.
And so they just told them usually to just keep going. We'll clean it later. So there's some days where it was just gold pouring off the back. They didn't catch hardly anything because the box was full. They couldn't catch any more.
Madness.
Madness. Yeah.
So it kind of runs in your blood, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. No, my great grandpa walked up here in 1939, and he walked about 80 kilometers out of Whitehorse until he found somebody that would give him a work ticket. Because back in those days, you had to get a work ticket to come to Dawson's. You had to know that you had a job or be hired for a job before they
because
let
otherwise,
you into town.
because I read like 100,000 people came in the first
rush.
rush.
That was between 1896 was the discovery, but by 1898 it was up to 100,000 people. 40,000 actually made it, but that's how many left Seattle and San Francisco and Vancouver.
And so later, when your great grandfather was here,
Later during the Depression, he came up here for work. The dredges were all working. The number 4 was still working, and he walked and stopped at a roadhouse, and they said, "How long you been walking?" He said, "About 80K." And they said, "Well, then I guess you know how to work." And they handed him a work ticket, and they brought him to Dawson. He ran the pump house at the bottom of Hunker, and then worked his way up to drill superintendent, ran a whole drill crew. But they would put him on the number 4 to clean the boxes sometimes, so he saw firsthand when the boxes were full.
moving on to the next place, we're now headed to Discovery Claim, which is where it really all started, where the first gold was discovered. So this is where it all started.
This is where it all started. The legend goes that they were here camped out. They were doing some laundry, and Skookum Jim looked across at the bank and saw a nice little, like a slice of cake that looked like it might be good. He walked over and he dipped a pan in and just swirled it back, and full of gold. So they got George to stake the claim. They packed it out of here, went to the mouth of 40 Mile to the Northwest Mounted Police Station, registered the claim, and then word started getting out.
How does it work with staking a claim? Like, how can you just say, okay, now this is mine?
The claim staking is actually, it's still, to this day, is the same way that they used to do it back then. So an area that's unstaked, that doesn't have a claim on it, all you have to do is find where the creek is, pick a tree, cut the top of the tree off so it's a post, or bury your own post.
Yeah.
And have a flat face on it, one that faces upstream, one that faces downstream, and you just write your name on it. The bottom post only has to face up because it creates the bottom of the claim. You register the date, the name, and the name of the claim. So this one would be Discovery Claim.
Right.
And then you walk up a certain distance, cut another post, the face facing it, that's your survey line, those two faces. Your name here, and you own the ground.
And that's yours.
1,000 feet on both sides of the post, 500 feet between the posts on a regular claim. 1 million square feet per claim.
1 million square
Every
feet
500
per claim.
feet you add another post. So it's really hard to tell what's been worked and what's not. You
Yeah.
know, it depends on the time in between. Most of this could have been completely worked. All of this,
Yeah.
fully exposed, process mined, put back, and then the trees come back and you can't tell.
Yeah.
It all depends on, one, how well it was reclaimed, and one, how well it was worked.
So I'm gonna follow this main road, and then Kyle already went ahead. We're gonna visit one of the family-owned businesses that's running at the moment. Some operations going on here. Some bigger stuff. Oh man, he said you will see which one is the main road, but I am not sure. I'll just follow the one that's on my GPS. I think that should be the one. If I'm going the right way now. Guessing, but no idea. There he is. Okay, I'm all good. I just caught up. I think we're here. What's your name?
I'm Linda Thompson.
And you are here looking for gold.
Yes. Well, my family is.
Your family
my
is.
husband and my son.
Yeah. So the size of the claim is like what you said before. What was it now? 1 million square feet or something.
Yeah, that's each individual claim, but this is a collection of claims.
Ah, okay.
Almost every square inch of this area has claims on it. So
Oh.
it just depends on who owns how many on which section. So like on our creek, we have the bottom 47 claims.
Yeah.
So every 500 feet, so we've got 47 of those 1 million square feet parcels.
Ah, okay.
All
Okay.
back to back down the creek.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how many claims are here, but
So, but all that machinery, that's a big investment you have to make before you even get 1 ounce of gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a risk, no?
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for 1 month.
1 month, yeah. Yeah, we've had it's been a rough month, but.
It seems like a lot to me, but not enough.
Total about 50,000.
Okay.
Wow. But it's, so.
I think I have some gold. I think I have some gold.